In the world of dating and personal development for men, we have seen pretty much everything and nothing over the last decades, from people who claim you can just memorize a few hypnotic lines to seduce any woman you want, to social media gurus pretending that no woman will ever look at you if you don't make at least 6 figures before the age of 15 years old. And in this video I wanted to give you some honest feedback about 2 different guys I have seen, one who pretty much never succeeded with any of those methods and why did he not succeed, and one who definitely succeeded even beyond expectations and who is by now using those speed seduction things into his career and climbing the corporate ladder much more easily than he thought he could. So the first one, let's call him Nicholas, even if I doubt he will ever watch this video because we haven't been in touch for quite some time, but let's say he might not like I talk about him in such ways, therefore let's give some anonymous name, Nicholas. Not his real name, but anyway. He was fascinated about how the mind works. He was studying speed seduction, NLP, communication, Robert Cialdini, all of those things the same way I was. So we had some mutual interesting conversations with each other. But when I noticed how he was trying to apply speed seduction or how he was trying to seduce any woman he liked, he was just basically telling her all the things he was learning about from a purely intellectual standpoint, as if he was giving a lecture to somebody. And the ones among them who were into university, who were pretty intellectual themselves, they might have liked, enjoyed hearing him for a few minutes, but past that point it was getting kind of boring to them, and at some point, like many people in that field, he also wanted to get into coaching, maybe build a career as a professional coach using NLP. And I saw the exact same thing when he was trying to get eventually some patient for hypnotherapy coaching. He was just telling them all the intellectual stuff about how the mind works, while never ever talking about them. How can that be beneficial for you? And if you know my story, you know we had some of those hypnosis discovery evenings, parties back in the day, and in that place I saw him countless times just boring people to death because he was only talking about what was fascinating to him, into the mind, into language, into persuasion, but never really connecting with what do they even like what he's saying, do they have something to share about what he's saying. And turned out he was just super anxious. He was very anxious of the image he was projecting, therefore he was talking and talking and talking while never leaving space, giving space and room for people to interact with him. But the biggest annoying belief I noticed when slightly explaining to him, you know, maybe if you were interacting differently with those girls you're trying to impress, maybe it would be better, because he was a pretty smart guy, but yeah, he was not connecting with them at all. And I noticed the worst belief he was operating from was they can't like me for who I am, therefore they have to fall for some trick. They have to fall into the trap somehow, even if he didn't have any negative manipulative mindset, but he felt like he had to trick them somehow because they could not like him for who he was. And at some point he got even like really weird into the things he was talking about, so I kind of distanced myself from him. But then the other one I wanted to tell you about, Ryan, let's call him Ryan. This one I can talk more about him, but since he is getting more, not famous, but like more known into his own field, he prefers me not to talk too much about specific details that could make him recognizable on my channel. So this one, Ryan, to talk about him in that way, he, on the opposite, was also studying how the mind works, how seduction works, how sales works, but he was starting in the dating field, at least, from way lower. By lower, I mean that he was definitely not trying to get to the most beautiful girl in the street or whatever. He didn't care about this. He was just coming for easy validation. And that is something that could be really easily criticized, like, oh, you're just approaching that one, but she's an easy catch somehow, it's not a big deal. And yeah, that can be criticized. Even me, sometimes I was slightly judgmental of him because he was approaching somebody or trying to seduce this lady or that one. I was like, why are you even talking to her? Like, are you even attracted to her? And of course he wasn't, but I noticed his confidence grew extremely fast because he was putting less pressure on himself and he was getting for easy validation first, Therefore, yes, they were not the most beautiful top models you might see on Victoria's Secret, but he was also taking action and testing all the things he was learning. Instead of keeping everything inside his head and then giving some weird lectures to people who don't care about it, then he was just applying the stuff he was learning about in a non-confrontational and less pressuring environment. So once he had gathered some more confidence about using those methods, because he could produce some reaction, make her laugh, make this one blush, by the way he was using some language patterns, then he got some more confidence and tried with the women who he thought were out of his league. The ones who were just unapproachable because they are so beautiful, like Instagram models, whatever. And did he succeed with those ones? No, not even. He did not get a number, a date, nothing. They were just like, washing him away, like spitting him away because he was useless to them. But while doing that, he also noticed, for the few ones he could really interact with, he noticed the most beautiful women ever. They are not that different from the ugly ones on many different standpoints. What I mean by that is even the most beautiful princess, spoiled princess girl you might see on Instagram, she has relationship issues in the same way the ugly one does. Many of them have huge self-esteem problems, maybe not for the same body parts, but they have huge self-esteem problems. And he noticed how not that great they were in their heads. So his whole perception of what a beautiful woman is completely changed by interacting more with them. He didn't get any number or get any date, but at least he decreased the pedestal he had in his mind for, oh, they are so out of my league. Well, no, they are just normal human beings like anyone else. They have insecurities the same way I do, the same way those less beautiful ones have. Just all of us are just human beings in the end. So fast forward, because he got more at ease with anyone he was interacting with, he had broken the barrier of, oh, those people are just unapproachable, those women are out of my league, the same way a salesperson might think, oh, those millionaire clients, I just can't get them because they are out of my league. Once you just cancel that perception that some people you're trying to get approval from are out of your league, once that is reframed in your mind, then everything becomes easy, and he was way more at ease with anyone he was trying to influence, persuade, seduce. He was way more at ease with all of them, and at the end he ended up with one main relationship. Like, it was an open relationship with one girl with whom he really connected, and they were both open, and he was still like catching many other fish in the ocean, if I can put it that way. And after 2 years with her, he just realized that, well, none of the other girls he is sleeping with have the same level of intellectual maturity, of emotional maturity than this one he had been for the past 2 years in an open setup. So he said, well, I just don't really need anybody else than her. And then now they have been together for, I think, 5 or 7 years at this point, and still together, still working great. And he says, I don't even need anybody else at this point because she's perfect for me, even after 5 years. But he could get at this point because he had experimented enough with many other girls, and he knew what he really wanted, and he had developed his communication skills and standards up to a level where he didn't have to chase anymore, and he didn't have to chase validation from anybody anymore. And the even biggest result then is that now he's using that in his job, and he's climbing the corporate ladder in some industry he prefers me not to reveal because that might make him identified in that sense. And he's climbing the ladder, and every time I see him again, he's just making me remind of the things we had done in the pickup community back then, and saying, if I hadn't done this with you, Matteo, I wouldn't know how to deal with that boss, that manager, that person in the industry. He has figured out all of those professional skills by trying to pick up girls and stuff like this. So those skills, even if they appear childish sometimes or nonsense, I can assure you they will unlock so many more skills than you think whenever you are in need of influencing somebody in your life. And as a human being, your main job is to compose with other human beings around you, whether it is at work or in your family or whatever. So unlocking those skills will definitely unlock more doors than you think you can open right now. So as a summary for all of that, the biggest component, the biggest takeaway from this video, I think, is just elaborate on the perception you have right now, the perception you have of the woman you think is out of your league, or if you're in sales, the type of client you think is out of your league, or the type of job you think is just out of your league. All of those things you think are out of your league, like way too high for who you are, for where you are in life, all those things, I dare challenging you to challenge that perception. If you think something, some business opportunity or some type of woman is out of your league, I dare challenging you to challenge, how do you know this is out of your league? How do you know you can't achieve that? How do you know you can't get her, that one? And how do you know this is completely impossible? And if you want a complete method that will teach you how to do that step by step, there is the instant confidence switch that I have created recently that will teach you just that. Or if you prefer some more elaborate and complete method for using hypnosis and NLP in the context of seduction, you have the Hypnotic Seduction program down below that covers everything from how to condition your own mind to be more successful in that field, up to how to design a whole sense of identity that will align with the type of results you want, and how to design your language patterns in connection to who you are and in connection to the type of woman you want, because not all of them react exactly in the same way to the same type of patterns and elicitation and hypnotic techniques. So no matter what the conversation is about, you will be able to create something compelling with all of the girls or women you are interacting with. All of this is down below alongside other courses on seduction, dating, and how can you become more confident in that field, and then that will unlock other aspects of your life as I had explained. All of that is down below and waiting for you to check that up. I will tell you thanks a lot for watching and see you soon in the next video.